Engaging celebrity interviews. Exciting updates from Christian filmmakers. Movie reviews so you can choose your movies wisely. And so much more here on Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Faith on Film. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, on today's show, I have three wonderful guests to share with you. First, you will hear from Greg Robbins and Brad Mix. Now, Greg is a film producer that I met probably over 20 years ago when I acquired for TBN the first Christian sitcom produced by Greg called Pastor Greg the Sitcom. It is a very funny show and did very well, actually, on TBN. But after a while, well, the sitcom pretty much got placed on the shelves and has been there for several years. Well, Greg and Brad, who heads up Crown Entertainment, are here with a very exciting announcement. You don't want to miss that announcement. Then on a more serious subject, well, Steve Head, producer of The Redemption of Mary Louise McBroom, a documentary dealing with mental health, is here to share all about his film. If you are suffering with mental health or know of someone who is, you don't want to miss this interview. Okay, but first, let's hear from Greg and Brad. I am here right now with two wonderful friends of mine that I've known for a long time, Brad Mix and Greg Robbins. And actually, I think they've got a very special announcement today. But before we get to that announcement, Greg, I want to start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are? I mean, I know you're a filmmaker. You're all sorts of things, including a stunt coordinator. But give us a little insight into Greg Robbins.
Really not much to tell. I started in this business in '83 doing stunts, and then went into writing and came up with a few ideas that worked really well, and then directed a few things. And after the pandemic, I ended up going back to stunts because of where I'm at here in Western New York. We got a film tax credit when there was a need for it, and it's worked out really well.
Brad, what you are the CEO of Crown Entertainment. Can you tell us a little bit about what is Crown Entertainment?
Oh man, we started in the early 80s in Canada, and we were the largest Christian video distributor in Canada for many, many years. And then in the late 90s, we started getting content that we could sell back into the States and worldwide. And in 2008, we incorporated a company in the US. So I live in Canada. My business partner is stand-up comedian Leland Clausen, who's also a producer, actor, writer. He did Sleeper Agent. I was involved in that. And now we're operating out of Franklin, Tennessee.
So you are no longer out there? I have
Out there. Yeah. Yeah. People make fun of I actually have my Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Hockey sweatshirt on today. So hoodie on.
Well, okay.
We've been known for comedy. In 1998, I met Ken Davis. He's the father of Christian comedy. And we ended up on a golf course with him. That's a longer story, but with a couple of his associates. And we became fast friends. And we've done 17 comedy projects with Ken Davis to date. And that kind of opened the door for us to work with a lot of other comedians and comedic stuff. And so we do everything, but we're kind of best known for the comedy side of things.
Now, would you say that comedy in the Christian space is a little tough? Because comedy just by nature is making fun of things, making fun of people, being somewhat, let's say, irreverent. And Christians tend to get really, how would I put this? They sometimes don't like to be made fun of. Have you found that maybe it's been difficult to kind of cross that barrier?
Well, I think Greg, the first sitcom in human history on the Christian side of things, he can speak probably to that. I'm sure he had things. I mean, when I started, we had people that were against video itself. I had a lady, when I first started out, I was doing a seminar in a church, and she said, we should be giving people the Bible, not video. And I just asked her, do you use flannel graph? And she said, well, yeah. And I said, okay, well, this is just better than that. But you know what? I think there's pros and cons. There always have been, but there's always been a lot of people who understand comedy and humor and joy comes from the Lord, and it's a beautiful gift that God has given us. And quite frankly, it can say things in and reach people in ways that no other film genre can.
Greg, the way I met you, of course, was because of a program that you had produced, and I picked up for TBN, and it was in fact the first. I think Brad mentioned it, the first Christian sitcom. I guess keeping up with what I just asked Brad about the acceptance of comedy in the Christian space. Did you find it difficult? Did you get people that were writing you and saying, "Why are you making fun of this situation that would happen in a church?"
Not as much as I thought I was going to get. After the series, and I was speaking at churches, and it's funny, and bringing DVDs, somebody just didn't hold up her hand. They just spewed it out, why am I doing this? And that we have no place in being on television. And I said, well, just simply, what is all of your furniture pointed at? And that is your TV set. So that ended that conversation. But for the most part, people really were very receptive. Even people that didn't belong to a church seemed to really, I don't know, I guess we hit on a formula when it came to Pastor Greg that resonated with people. And to this day, that's why we're where we are right now, is because when it became 20 years, I messaged a few people that were in the infancy stages of all of this and said, happy anniversary.
Well, so I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the trailer to the series, to the sitcom, and then we're going to come back and talk about it a little bit, okay?
Sounds good.
The first Christian sitcom is back.
I can't wait.
Is celebrating the 20-year anniversary.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Let's take a look at the silliness that the zany characters of Merlin Church gave us.
I'm trying to tell you.
Say, you're kind of strange.
I'm sorry. It sounds like he's still in his counseling session.
And the love they showed us.
Really here? You might make a mistake,
That I could guarantee.
but God does not. See, I don't think you heard me. God does not make mistakes. Your flock is waiting. Pastor Greg.
All right. Let's do it, dude.
You gave us a pastor that says, do.
Pastor Greg. Proof God has a sense of humor.
So I mentioned in the beginning of the interview that you guys had an announcement to make. Now, who's going to make that announcement? You guys can choose who will make that announcement, but we want to know what is so exciting about Pastor Greg.
Go ahead. Are you pointing at me, Greg?
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel is Crown TV. It's all one word, Crown TV, and we're super proud to do the re-release of Pastor Greg. So a new episode comes out every second week. I think we're on episode number 7. You can just search for Crown TV in the search bar in YouTube, and there it is. And you can watch them all. We're starting with episode 1, and we're going to go all the way through.
That is definitely exciting because I have to admit, when I saw it the first time, and that was many years ago, I really enjoyed it. Now, it was the first Christian sitcom, but it was just, it definitely brought joy to my heart. And I loved it so much that I said, we got to put this on TBN, and we did. And to be honest with you, we used to get a lot of very positive response on that. So very excited about doing that. Now, it is an older sitcom, but that is not a problem because, to be honest with you, right now I'm actually binging on I Love Lucy shows. It just seems like some of that older stuff was so much funnier than the stuff they're putting out today. So it's very exciting to know that Pastor Greg is going to be on Crown Entertainment's YouTube channel. Now, is there any possibility of maybe a reboot? Maybe some new episode? Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that was well committed there. Absolutely. Yeah. Now that means that you've got all the money you need and everything's ready to go. You're just going to move on into producing some new shows, right?
No. As a matter of fact, if I were able to do it for free right now, I'd have to take out a loan. But no, there's, when God moves on your heart to do something, you just either do it, or if in my case, you just have sleepless nights and being pestered, and you feel like you're either going to do what God says or put a restraining order on him. So I believe that we're going to do it. We did a Christmas episode in 2018. We did a reboot with the Christmas episode from season 1 on Hope. Yes, you were in it.
I was in it, wasn't I?
Yeah, you was very well received. It still is. Every single Christmas, we constantly get positive feedback. Very, very, very. Pastor Greg was mixed. They either loved it or they hated it. What we were doing was horrible. But with that, the Hope, it was everybody that has ever commented has said something very positive about it. And so I thought, well, maybe I should consider doing a reboot. And then I didn't do anything about it until when all of this came about. I don't know how it happened, but my phone told me that this is the 20th anniversary of Pastor Greg. My phone, it lit up in my calendar, and I was like, I don't understand. So I went back and looked on October 12th of whatever year it was the 20th anniversary of Pastor Greg. So I private messaged a few people, and you guys were two of the people, because you guys were there in the very beginning. I mean, I remember being with you two at the Amfac Hotel in the back of a bar, at a cigar bar, with Alex Kendrick, Holly McClure, the two of you, and I don't remember who else, seeing a private screening of Facing the Giants. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to clarify. We were at the back of the bar, not at the bar.
No, the bar was closed, and this was a room in the back of the bar, and it was a cigar bar. It had cigars all on the walls and a TV set, and Alex invited all of us, and Jim McGuire was there also. And I think about that time. Well, anyhow, it was just a wonderful time in my life, and I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoy you guys, and have since then. And now, after doing that, the positive reception of Hope and on the Pastor Greg reboot in 2018, I've talked to a few of those cast members, and they were overjoyed to want to do it as a series. So we're going to go down the path of redoing that sitcom. And when Brad wanted these, and also Cornerstone Television, where I originally did it with, they wanted it also. I don't know if they're airing it or not, but I had to go and make dubs because they were all on betas. For those that know, betas, these old tapes. And so a TV station, WBBZ, God love them, they said, yeah, we'll let you come down here and not charge you. You just have to sit and make the dubs. So I had to watch the episodes. Well, I haven't seen the show in years, 2 decades to be honest. And I thought, this is funny. This is a funny show. To this day, that comedy holds up. And I figured out through the years as a writer, what 4 elements or ingredients, if you will, that you need to make a situation comedy timeless and appealing. And all 4 of those elements are in Pastor Greg.
Nice. Well, Brad, thank you for helping Greg bring this back out into the marketplace by putting it in on your YouTube channel. Again, that's how people can watch it, right? They go to YouTube and they look up Crown Entertainment.
Crown TV.
Crown TV.
All one word, Crown TV.
Crown TV.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no space between Crown and TV. Just
all right. Now, Greg, is there a way people can follow you just to kind of keep up with what you're doing, even beyond Pastor Greg? Obviously, you do so many things. You want people to know what you're doing?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have my own YouTube channel. It's just from where I put my stuff. That way I don't lose it. It's called Papa TV or Papa Tube.
Papa Tube. P-A-P-A?
Papa. P-A-P-A Tube. And then...
What's Papa from?
I'm a Papa.
Me too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
We're talking on Facebook about this.
You know, in Spanish, papa is potato. So are you a potato?
I am. Well, their other grandma is Peruvian, and we call her Ama. So I understand that. But yeah, and then nobody cares about the stunt stuff. I have a website, Robin Stunt Team. But yeah, Papa Tube.
You know, there might be somebody. Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Can I have a request, Greg?
Yeah, of course.
You say nobody cares about the stunt stuff. I love it. Can we have some higher end stunts in the reboot?
Yeah, absolutely, because I won't be doing them.
Well,
You could actually hire my son. He went to Seattle International Stunt School, and he's done some Last of Us. He was in Last of Us and some other stuff. He's a legit stunt man. So yeah, let's do something with some fun stunts.
Wow, that sounds to me like Brad is about to open up the checkbook so that you can do that reboot and put all these big stunts. I don't know.
You heard it here. I'll give you everything that's in my pockets right now.
So lint and a couple of lozenges, right?
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for getting on our show right now and telling us all about Pastor Greg. By the way, there is a Pastor Greg show that I remember we used to also have on TBN, and it was a preaching by Pastor Greg Laurie. So I just want to make sure you'll understand. This is not the Pastor Greg preaching, Pastor Greg Laurie preaching on the show Pastor Greg, okay? This is the sitcom Pastor Greg. So, gentlemen, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Isaac. Guys, very much.
Yeah.
Folks, don't go away. We'll be back with more Faith on Film. Have you been enjoying our show, Faith on Film? We sure do enjoy bringing you information every week on what is happening in and around the world of faith and family entertainment, with interviews with some of the best faith and family filmmakers, to reviews of the Hollywood movies being marketed to you so that you can choose your movies wisely. But we cannot do this alone. That is why we are launching the Faith on Film Champion campaign. One definition of a champion is an individual who passionately supports, defends, and fights for a cause. What is a Faith on Film champion? Well, it is an opportunity for you to partner with us and help us continue to bring these great shows to you every week. To learn more about becoming a Faith on Film champion, just visit our website, faithonfilmtv.com. That's faithonfilmtv.com. There you will find all the information you need to become a Faith on Film champion. And now, let's get back to our show. Welcome back, everybody. You know what? We are going to shift a little bit and go into I'm going to call it a much more serious subject matter here, because we're going to be talking about a documentary that Dick Rolfe, by the way, the chairman emeritus of Dove Foundation, says is one of the clearest and most poignant stories of domestic abuse from a victim who overcame his painful past by returning to God. And here to tell us all about it is the producer of The Redemption of Mary Louise McBroom, Steve Head. Steve, hey, welcome to Faith on Film.
Thank you, Isaac. I'm so honored to be on your show.
Well, thank you. We're grateful to have you take some time to come on. Now, before we get started with the learning more about this documentary, why don't we take a quick look at the trailer and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Oh, that'd be a great idea.
I can't believe he was able to find records for someone that he may have never even have met.
My grandmother was in the insane asylum.
The primary symptom that she was described as having experienced was paranoia.
Breaking those intergenerational trauma pathways is so important. And you see that with Mary McBroom and Stephen Head's story, how her life impacted his father's life, how his father's life impacted Stephen.
So desperate, sitting on the kitchen floor of my little apartment one night with a steak knife at my heart. Just trying to have the courage to plunge it in and just end the pain I was in. I wonder if my grandmother, if that's how she felt when she lit the match and she set herself on fire.
And what Steve's life represents is those chains get broken. And you get to go where you were supposed to go. You get to do what you were supposed to do, what you were made to do. That's identity, that's freedom.
Good can come from ugly.
Half of my life was spent wasted and the other half was redeemed.
Many people have had bad stories. It's how we handle it and change the ending of that story.
Mary Louise, you're beautiful. You're beautiful.
Wow, Steve, can you give us a much more comprehensive look into what this documentary is all about?
You know, Isaac, back in the 80s, early 80s, I was doing some family genealogy research, and I came across the information about my grandmother on my father's side, who her maiden name was Mary Louise McBroom. I found out that she was a patient for 9 years in a insane asylum in Norman, Oklahoma. I was able to get her medical records, and I had those in my desk for 25 years. I couldn't bear to do any. I mean, I was the only person on the whole planet to do her story. I started doing some art in my 50s, and at some point I was compelled to do a piece of art about some of the characters in my family genealogy, and she was one of those. And I did a piece of art about her, and it just basically touched people all over the world. And that was the beginning of this idea of telling her story and redeeming her story through my own.
Wow. Now, what why did you feel compelled to do this documentary?
Well, you know, it's such a common thread in so many people's lives. If you, most people who have suffered childhood trauma, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, most of the people that have carried those wounds in their heart, they don't talk about that every day in normal conversation. It sets below the surface, and it's kind of a secret that just stays there like a festering wound. And when I have shown this film to people in audiences and theaters, people resonate so deeply with this story because it gives them a sense that they're not alone and that it offers them hope. And people come down afterwards and they throw their arms around me with tears in their eyes. I mean, it's such a visceral connection to people. It's an amazing thing, but it's not necessarily a film for entertainment. It's a film that has a special purpose, and that's to give people who are still struggling with issues like substance abuse and relationship problems and just that inner pain they carry inside. It gives people a way to feel like they're not alone, that maybe there's hope for them too.
Well, you know, that's true, because usually when you're dealing with you know, whether it be sexual abuse or physical abuse or even just verbal abuse, those are things that kind of, especially if it's when you're young, those are things that kind of people just very much internalize and don't want to talk about it, don't want to share it with anybody. Would you say that this documentary perhaps helps people to maybe just feel like, you know what, I can share it, I can talk about it, and that possibly get help?
You know, it's funny. Before the documentary, I have an art exhibit, and it's shown throughout the film. The art exhibit is called Family Secrets. And when I would have an exhibit at a gallery, whether it be a university or a psychiatric museum, I would do an artist talk. And afterwards, people would come up to me, and the first thing they wanted to do was tell me their story. It's like this art exhibit and my own transparency gave them permission to tell their story. And we have conversations that start that you would normally never talk about these things. You know, if you meet somebody for coffee or whatever, you don't start out with stories of abuse and trauma. But it's something that is so special. It's hard to describe in words the connection it has with people and the response I get from people.
Now, do you think that could be because they themselves feel like they're the reason that they're being abused like this, like it's really their fault and that's why they don't want to share it? Or what do you think is the reason people don't really want to talk about it?
You know, exactly. There is something about shame that people carry. And a lot of times the shame people carry is not legitimate shame. It's not their shame. But sometimes when you have an adult and you're a child and they take advantage of you in some kind of a molestation or any kind of abuse, you sometimes feel like it was your fault. You brought it on yourself, or somehow it's your fault. And it's not. But you carry that with you through childhood into adulthood. And a lot of times, Isaac, people have this festering shame inside. They feel like they're the low self-esteem. There's an emptiness inside that was never filled by their parents or the people that should have filled that emptiness with the things that a good family life and a good set of parents should fill it with. Parents are a reflection of God's image. And if you have broken, dysfunctional parents like I did, and many people have, it's not necessarily their fault because they came from childhood trauma and abuse themselves, most likely. And so they carry that generation after generation. And if you have that emptiness that you're carrying, that your parents were just not capable of giving you the things you needed in your life, then as far as I was concerned, I filled that emptiness with alcohol and other addictive behaviors. And many people get into addictions, drug abuse, and sexual addictions, or all these things, trying to fill that void inside. Well, this film shows how you can break out of that bondage and you can turn that into what that emptiness should be filled with. And that's the light and presence of God and Him redeeming your story and giving you purpose in life and helping you realize that no matter how broken, how you look down on yourself, He can use you. He takes broken vessels and He puts them together and makes art. It's a beautiful thing, Isaac.
Absolutely. Well, now, how can people actually get to watch this thing? I know you've apparently been taking it to different locations, but this show is seen around the world. How is somebody watching anywhere in this world? How would they be able to watch this?
All they have to do is just go to marymcbroom.com, and that link will take them right to the film. It's online on our channel for a $4.99 rental, but that rental income helps us pay our expenses. We produce this as a nonprofit organization. Great Wonders Productions is a nonprofit cinematic arts organization, and we have produced a couple of other films too. But we're all about making films that make a difference.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for joining us on the show today. And I really hope and believe that this film will help many other people that are not at that point yet where they've been able to share or they've been able to overcome that whole aspect of having been in some sort of abusive relationship or abusive time. Thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate this. Folks, don't forget to check out our website, faithonfilmtv.com. That's faithonfilmtv.com. There you will find links to a lot of our other past shows if you haven't seen all of them, and we've got like 286 of them, so lots for you to watch. So again, until next week, take care.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at faithonfilmtv. Also, visit our website, faithonfilmtv.com. That's faithonfilmtv.com, where you'll find links to all of our past shows and much more.